The fog clung to Arlington like a shroud, swallowing the white headstones in a ghostly haze. Private Noah Jackson, a black tombguard, walked his 21 steps, boots clicking sharp against the stone, his breath catching in the cold. At 2 a.m., the cemetery was dead quiet until it wasn't. A figure flickered in the mist. Soldier in an old uniform, eyes hollow but burning, staring right at him. Noah's heart slammed against his ribs. He wanted to shout to break protocol, but black tombguards don't flinch. Then the soldier raised a hand, pointing to the shadows, and vanished. Noah stood frozen, rifle heavy on his shoulder, the night pressing in. What no one told him, what the manuals never warned, was that the tomb doesn't just honor the dead, it calls them back. And this soldier had a story Noah was about to learn, whether he was ready or not. Before we dive into this story, where are you watching from? Let us know in the comments. And if you believe that values like honor, courage, and sacrifice still matter, join us in keeping their legacy alive. The autumn night hung heavy over Arlington National Cemetery, a blanket of fog curling through the rows of white headstones. At the tomb of the unknown soldier, the air was still, broken on Libby the rhythmic click of boots against stone. 21 steps. Pause. Turn. 21 steps gain. Private Noah Jackson, a black tombguard of the 3rd Infantry Regiment, moved with precision, his M14 rifle resting on his shoulder. His face a mask of discipline under the dim glow of the monument's lights. At 24, Noah was new, tough old guard, 6 months into the honor of guarding the tomb. But tonight, his first solo night shift. Something felt off. The fog thickened, swirling like a living thing. Noah kept his eyes forward, focusing on the cadence of his steps. But a chill crept up his spine. Out of the corner of his eye, beyond the chain-link barrier, he saw a figure. A soldier dressed in an old uniform, olive drab, like something from a history book. The figure stood motionless, barely visible in the mist. Noah's heart skipped. He didn't break stride, didn't turn his head. Black tombguards don't flinch. But when he reached the end of his walk and glanced back, the figure was gone. Just the fog, he told himself. Just the damn fog in a long night. He tightened his grip on his rifle, kept moving. 21 steps. Pause. Turn. The next night, it happened again. Same time, around 2 a.m., the soldier was there. Closer now, near the edge of the plaza, Noah caught more details this time. The faded chevrons of a private. A young face, maybe 19, pale as the marble around them. The soldier's eyes locked on Noah's, not menacing, but pleading, like he needed something Noah couldn't name. Noah's breath hitched. He wanted to call out, to demand who was there, but his training held him in check. When he blinked, the figure dissolved in a mist. By the 3rd night, Noah was rattled. He stewed in the guard shack before his shift, checking his uniform in the small mirror, his hands trembling slightly. Sergeant Layla Carter, his squad leader, Linda gained the doorframe, her arms crossed. Layla was 32, tough as nails, with a nonsense stare that could make a recruit sweat. "You look like you saw a ghost, Jackson," she said, her voice dry. Noah forced a laugh. "Maybe I did. You ever see anything weird out there at night?" Layla raised an eyebrow. "Arlington's got stories. Old guards talk about shadows, whisper soldiers who don't belong. Comes with the territory." "You're not cracking, are you?" "No, ma'am," Noah said quickly. "Just tired." She studied him, then softened. "Look, kid, the tombguards. You're guarding more than stone. Those unknowns, they're real people with stories nobody knows. Maybe they're restless, or maybe you need more sleep. Either way, keep your head on straight." Noah nodded, but her words stuck with him as he stepped out into the cold. That night, the soldier appeared again, Clazerthon, ever standing just beyond the chains. Noah's pulse raced. The figure raised a hand, pointing toward a row of headstones in the distance, and faded. Noah stood frozen at the end of his walk, staring into the dark. "What do you want?" he whispered, his voice barely audible. The next morning, Noah couldn't shake it. Hesset in the barracks, scrolling through his phone, searching for anything a Booth tomb. The internet was full of facts. The tomb held remains from World War II, Korea, Vietnam soldiers whose names were lost to time, thousands of them buried across Arlington. Their stories gone. Noah's eyes lingered on a photo of a World War I doughboy. The same olive drab uniform, a Thesom-haunted look. His stomach twisted. He called his grandfather Henry Jackson, a retired World War II vet who lived in a small town an hour from D.C. Henry's voice crackled through the phone. Warm, but weathered. "What's eating you, son?" Henry asked. Noah hesitated, then spilled at the figure, the pointing theffeling he was being watched. "Grandpa, am I losing it, or is this real?" Henry was quiet for a moment. "Back in '44 in France, I saw things. Shadows in the trenches. Men who weren't there. My buddy swore he saw his brother killed a year before, standing at the edge of camp. War leaves echoes, Noah. Those boys at Arlington, the unknowns. They don't rest easy if no one remembers them. If the soldier's showing himself to you, maybe he's asking you to listen." "Listen, Tohat?" Noah asked. "To his story," Henry said. "Find out who he is. Give him Annam." Noah hung up, his mind racing. That night, Hess stepped onto the plaza with a new resolve. The fog was lighter, the stars sharp above. He walked his 21 steps, but this time, when the soldier appeared, Noah didn't look away. "You want me to know something, don't you?" he said softly. "I'm here. Show me." The soldier didn't move, but his eyes held Noah's, and for a moment, the world shifted. Noah saw flashes of muddy trench, the crack of artillery, a young man clutching a letter, blood soaking his uniform. Then it was gone, and Noah was back on the plaza, gasping. The soldier pointed again toward the headstones, then vanished. Noah started digging. Between shifts, he pored over Arlington's archives, old military records, anything he could access. Half on a mention of a World War I soldier buried as an unknown. With a scrap of paper found in his pocket, Sam, Pennsylvania, 19. No last name, no unit. Just a kid who died in the Meuse-Argonne, one of the bloodiest battles of the war. Noah's chest tightened. "Was that you?" He whispered to the empty room. He started talking to the soldier during his shifts, not caring if it sounded crazy. "Hey, Sam, if that's your name, I'm Noah. I'm from Ohio. My dad was in Iraq. Doesn't talk much about it. I joined up to make him proud, but sometimes I wonder if I'm cut out for this." Have housed. I'm half expecting an answer. But the night stayed silent. Still, the act off speaking felt right, like he was building a bridge to something. One night the visions grew stronger. Noah stood at the tomb, the fog curling around his boots, when the soldier Sam stepped onto the plaza. Noah's heart pounded, but he held his ground. Sam's lips didn't move, but images flooded Noah's mind. A small Pennsylvania farm. A mother sewing a uniform, a young man writing a letter by candlelight. "Dear Ma, I'll be home by Christmas." "Don't worry." Then the trench again screams. Mud, a shell exploding. Sam's body falling, the letter clutched in his hand, never sent. Noah staggered, catching himself on his rifle. "I saw it," he whispered. "I saw you. What do you need me to do?" Sam pointed once more toward headstones, his face softer now, almost peaceful. Noah knew what he had to do. The next day, he contacted Dr. Emma Haze, a historian who worked with Arlington's records. Head older about the scrap of paper about Sam. Emma was skeptical, but agreed to help. After days of searching, she found a faint lead, a private Samuel Reed from Lancaster. Pennsylvania reported missing in 1918. No body recovered, no family notified. "He was 19. That's him," Noah said, his voice thick. "I know it is." Emma looked at him, her eyes searching. "Noah, how do you know this?" "I just do," he said. "Please, help me honor him." Noah couldn't stop there. He started writing down everything he'd seen in the visions. Sam's farm, his mother, the letter. He shared it with Layla, expecting her to laugh. But she didn't. "You're doing great by him," she said. "That's what the tomb's about." Not just guarding but trembling, Noah's resolve grew. He proposed an idea to his commanding officer, a project to honor the unknowns, not just at the tomb, but across Arlington. "Call it the Memory Project," he said. "We read their stories, even thief fragments we know, so they're not forgotten." The CO was hesitant, but Lalo backed him up. "Let the kid try, sir. It's what the old guard stands for." The first ceremony was small, held at dusk on a chilly November evening. Noah stood before the tomb. A crowd of soldiers, veterans, and families gathered in the fading light. His hands shook as he held a piece of paper, his voice steady but raw. "Private Samuel Reed," he began. Born in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, 1899, he dreamed of being a teacher. He wrote letters to his mother promising to come home. He died in the Muzargan, October 1918, fighting for a country he loved. His name was lost, but tonight we remember him. The crowd was silent, some wiping tears. Noah felt a weight lift, like the air itself was lighter. He glanced toward the headstones, half hoping to see Sam, but the plaza was empty. Asterisk. That night, for the first time in weeks, the soldier didn't appear. Noah kept going. The Memory Project grew, with other black tombguards joining, reading names and stories at monthly ceremonies. Noah worked with Emma to dig up more fragments, letters, dog tags, scraps of lives left behind. He started recording the stories, uploading them to a website for families to hear. Schools got involved, kids reading names in classrooms, leaving flowers at graves. One night a year later, Noah stood his post-ath tomb, the fog rolling in again. He was a sergeant now, his badge gleaming in his chest. The Memory Project had spread to other cemeteries, a quiet moment of remembrance. As he walked his 21 steps, he saw a small figure at the plaza, girl, maybe 10, holding her father's hand. She stepped forward, placing a single white flower at the base of the tomb. Noah caught sight of a note tucked in the petals. "Thank you for remembering them." When his shift ended, Noah approached the girl and her father, a veteran in a wheelchair, his face lined but proud. "Why'd you leave the flower?" Noah asked gently. The girl looked up, her eyes bright. "My grandpa was in Vietnam. Nobody knew his name either until you started telling their stories. I wanted to say thank you." Noah's throat tightened. He saluted the veteran, who returned it with a nod. As they walked away, Noah turned back to Theodem, the marble glowing softly. "Sam," he whispered, "we're still here." "We'll always be here?" He stepped back into position, his boots clicking against stone. 21 steps. Pause. Turn. The fog closed in, but Noah wasn't afraid. He knew he wasn't alone. The next morning, Noah visited his grandfather, Henry. Henry sat in his armchair, a photo of his old unit on the mantel. Noah told him about the girl, the flower, the Memory Project. Henry smiled, his eyes misty. "You did good, son," he said. "Those boys, they're resting easier now. And you found what you were looking for." Noah nodded. "Yeah, Grandpa." "You think I did?" Henry reached for his hand, his grip strong despite his age. "Your dad's proud, you know. He just doesn't know how to say it." Noah drove home, stopping at his parents' house. His father, James, was in the garage, tinkering with an old radio. Noah hesitated, then stepped inside. "Dad, can we talk?" "About Iraq? About you?" James froze, his wrench still in hand. After a long moment, he set it down. "All right, son. Let's talk." They sat for hours, stories spilling out. James' patrols in Fallujah, the friends he lost, the silence he carried home. No shared Sam's story, the visions at the tomb. For the first time, they didn't just talk as father and son, but as soldiers. Bound by a shared duty, months later, Noah stood before a group of new black tombguard recruits, their faces eager but nervous. He didn't give a long speech, just a few words, steady and clear. The tomb isn't just stone, Hest. It's a promise to the unknowns, to their families, to each other. You'll feel them out there, in the fog, in the quiet. They're not ghosts, they're brothers. Listen to them. Remember them. That's what makes us black tombguards. As he walked away, a recruit called out, "Sergeant Jackson, you ever see anything out there? You know, Like the stories? Noah smiled faintly. Keep your eyes open, private. You might. That night, Noah took his post one last time for a new rotation. The fog was thick, the plaza silent. He walked his 21 steps, his heart steady. At the end of his walk, he paused, looking out over the sea of headstones. No soldier appeared. No visions came. But Noah felt a presence. Not heavy, but warm, like a hand on his shoulder. Thank you, Sam, he whispered. Rest easy, brother. He turned, his boots echoing in the night. 21 steps. Pause. Turn. The tomb stood watch, and so did he. This is the story of a black tomb guard and a lost soldier, of a foggy night at Arlington, of a whisper and a memory that wove the past to the present. It's a reminder that at the tomb of the unknown soldier, where every step and every pause is a vow. Sometimes the greatest tribute to the fallen is to speak their names, to carry their stories forward. So take a moment today. Think of Noah, of Sam, of the countless souls whose names rest in silence. Share their story not just to honor them, but to remind us all that remembrance is the truest form of duty. And if you're ever in Arlington, stand at the tomb, count the 21 steps, and listen. You might just feel the pulse of a nation, steady and unbroken through the fog.